Hello,
Hi there.
welcome to the first episode of the Notable Humanities Podcast, where we talk about the topics in a non-boring way every unit. I am Trenton Snowder.
And I'm Jeremy Castaneda Chicano. Today we are going to learn about Unit 2.
This podcast exists to explore essential topics in humanities, helping us better understand the world around us. Also, because it is a grade. In each episode, we aim to make complex ideas more accessible and entertaining.
We will first discuss demography, situation, site and situation factors, and population density.
To start this sucker off, we'll talk about demography first.
What in the world is demography, Trenton?
Demography is the study of births, deaths, income, and disease incidence statistics.
That sounds about Gotcha and Arrive.
Why would you say that? Also, what did we learn about demography in class?
We learned about graphs like the gender and age graph, which is called the population pyramid, and we will talk about that later in the episode.
That is very boring. Time to hear a joke. I tried to think of a good geography joke, but got lost along the way. Guess you could say I'm geographically challenged.
That is hilarious, but let's return to the topic. What do you know about site and situation factors?
No, I do not want to stop lollygagging. I loathe and despise you now, because you are a criticism Andy. I would have never thought you were one, you traitor. Anyways, site and situation factors include landforms, soil quality, climate, and resources.
Okay, Trenton, that is an excellent description of the site and the factors affecting the situation.
You are very welcome, Jeremy. What about you? Tell me what your favorite type of situation factor is.
My favorite type of situation factor is resources. What about you?
Well, I sure do fancy resources, but my favorite one is probably climate. Also, I forgive you. Jeremy, do you know what population density is?
Yes, I do. Population density is a measurement of population per unit land area. Do you know the different types of population densities?
The different types of population densities are physiological density, agricultural density, and arithmetic density. What is your favorite density, and how do you measure it?
My favorite type of density is arithmetic density because it is complicated and you measure it by the total number of people divided by the total land area. What about you?
My favorite density is agricultural. You measure it by dividing the area of farmland by the population of farmers in the area. Thank you for asking. What's the other one we should have talked about?
The other one we didn't talk about is physiological density. You calculate it by the number of people per unit area of arable land. A higher physiological density suggests that the available agricultural land is being used and more may reach it being used more and may reach its output limit sooner than a country with lower physiological density.
Thank you for your response, Jeremy. You're such an egghead. We also have to talk about significant population regions.
Do you know what the four major population regions are?
The world's top 4 major population regions are East Asia, South Asia, Europe, and Southeast Asia. These areas consist of 2/3 of the world's population.
Okay, that was a good recap of the four major population regions.
No problem, Jeremy. You are such a Liberty Gibbet.
What
No,
even?
no, hold on, wait, I gotta redo that. No problem, Jeremy. You are such a Flibberty Gibbet.
What even is a population region?
A population region is the number of inhabitants of a given area. You're such a lummox. I would like to introduce local wall dweller, Prunes, to say a word from our sponsor. Okay. It's gonna be good. This episode of Notable Humanities. This episode of Notable Humanities is sponsored by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
ICE is a federal law enforcement agency under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. ICE's mission is to protect the United States from undocumented immigration that could threaten national security. You can join ICE by calling 1-2-3-4-5-6-7-8-9-0. Join ICE today. Thanks to ICE for sponsoring this podcast. Can I go back to the nursing home now?
Thank you, Local Geezer Prunes, for that amazing sponsor segment.
Who is Prunes and where did she come from?
She lives in the walls, Jeremy Castaneda.
Now we have to do the next topic, Unit 2.3.
Oh, fiddlesticks. I completely forgot what Unit 2.3 is, Jeremy. Jog my memory for me.
The next topic is population pyramid, skill dependency ratio, sex ratio, and age cohorts.
Thank you for the refresher, Jeremy. You're a lifesaver.
You're welcome, Trenton. Do you know what a population pyramid is?
A population pyramid, or age-sex pyramid, is a graphical illustration of the distribution of a population by age groups and sex. It typically takes the shape of a pyramid when a population is growing. As demographer Hans Rosling said, understanding population pyramids is essential for predicting economic and social trends. I give a bad press to whoever made this graph because pyramids are three-dimensional, and the shape is more of a two-dimensional triangle.
Can you give me an example?
An example of a population pyramid would be an infographic, which depicts the age groups within a population on a vertical axis, while populations within each sex are represented on the horizontal axis. I'm still mad about the creator not knowing their shapes.
Oh yeah. Thank you for the in-depth analysis, Trenton.
Yippee! You're so absolutely welcome. And because you're being so nice to me right now, here's a joke pertaining to geography. Why did the boogeyman know all of the map symbols? Because he's a legend.
That was a hilarious. That
Redo
was
that.
as hilarious as a funny water bottle, Trenton.
Thank you, Jeremy. But we have to finish the podcast.
So, Trenton, how do you read a population pyramid?
Well, a narrow base shows a low birth rate as small numbers of children are born. Ergo, a narrowing base indicates a falling birth rate. A wide top suggests a high proportion of people living stronger. Straight sides depict a low death rate.
That is a lot to remember, Trenton.
I know it's oodles of information, but it's imperative for us to know. Also, what is scale?
Scale is an essential geographic tool for creating and interpreting maps.
What is an example of scale on a gosh darn map, Jeremy?
For example, the statement 1 inch equals 1 mile is an excellent example of scale.
Great recap of scale. Do you know what dependency ratio is?
Of course, the dependency ratio is the percentage of people within a population who are either too young or too old to work and must therefore be supported by the labor of working adults within that population.
Bazinga! You're such a snollygoster, Jeremy.
Your turn. Do you know what the sex ratio is?
The sex ratio is the ratio of males to females in a population. Thanks for asking, Jeremy. I'm as thankful as 2 loonies straight out of the loony bin during Thanksgiving.
You're welcome. Can you give me an example of the sex ratio?
Alright, a sex ratio of 117 means there are 117 males to every 100 females. Can you give me another example?
Okay. For example, the expected sex ratio at birth is said to be 105 male births per 100 female births.
Great example. Do you know what an age cohort is?
Yes, I do. The age cohort is a group of people of a similar age.
Can you give me an example? I'm as confused as a gargantuan mosquito that's also confused.
Okay. An example of age cohort is Gen Alpha, which is a group of people of a similar age who are in a group. Section C is an example that relates to me because I am part of it. Now, you should give me an example too, because you sound like you don't know what the age cohort is.
Great googly moogly. Thanks for clearing up my discombobulation. For example, Generation X was born from 1965 to 1980, and I am also part of Generation Z.
That was a great example, Trenton. Can you give me a summary of what we learned today in Unit 1?
Well, on topic 1, we learned about demography, site and situation factors, population densities, arithmetic, physiological, and agricultural, and major population regions. What did we just now learn on topic 2?
Topic 2, we learned about the population pyramid scale, the tendency ratio, and sex ratio. And that is it. Time to end this. See you next episode.
Yowza! We still have one last thing. We need to tease the next episode.
Let me go back to the nursing home already. I'm very zonked.
Stay tuned for the episode 2, Unit 3, Jeopardy special coming soon.
Bye!
Goodbye.